Hello everyone, I'm Alex and you on the Virrcraft channel. Yes, I finally got around to Warhammer and we are starting our adventure with the Oldhammer miniature High Elf Archmage Teclis. At least I hope I pronounced everything correct. Actually, I stumbled upon this particular miniature quite by accident. It was being sold on the local second-hand website for a rather symbolic price. Since I'm not too familiar with Warhammer miniatures, at least was, especially on the old ones. Yeah, if you don't know, this miniature was released in December 1992. Archmage Teclis was actually introduced in White Dwarf issue 158, published in March 1993. In fact, as I delved deeper into the history of this miniature, I discovered that Archmage Teclis miniature have been re-released several times, including quite a recent in completely different form. But my attention was drawn specifically to this mini. Firstly, because of how it looks. Secondly, because it is made of metal. Many people don't like metal minis, but I really enjoy these Oldhammer pieces. I was a bit disappointed to find out that the miniature was incomplete and the staff tip was missing. Hence the symbolic price of the mini itself. But I thought this could be a good opportunity for restoration, and with the help of the miniature sculptor you are already familiar with if you are watching my channel, Miniatures Blueprint, we managed to recreate the missing part. If you are interested, I will add all the links in the description. He makes very cool miniatures on various themes, and if you have a 3D printer, I highly recommend subscribing to his monthly releases. This video is not sponsored, I'm just grateful for the free help with the restoring the miniature. So, after several prints of this stub tip, mostly with different sizes, I chose the one that fit the best and started cleaning the miniature. It's possible that someone had tried to paint the miniature before, or it had been painted and later stripped, I'm not really sure. Or perhaps just oxidation over time, which can occur on metal. In any case, after a careful and quick clean, and removing any mold lines where possible with just a hobby knife, I proceed to restore the broken parts. Yes, there is another story that happened with this miniature. During the delivery, not only did it get lost, or rather delivered to completely wrong address, but luckily everything was correctly labeled on the package and a kind person from neighborhood street brought it to me. On top of that, it was crumpled and the sword was damaged. But no worries, this is fixable. With little help of super glue and green stuff, as well as some silicone tool, I restored the sword, attached the 3D printed stuff tip and proceeded to prep it for painting. Here is nothing unusual. A basic black primer from Vallejo, a zenithal highlight with Citadel Air White Scar, and we are ready to move on to the most exciting part – painting. For the base color schema, I took inspiration from the color palette used by Games Workshop in their video for the new Archmage Teclis model. I like their use of gold, colors and gemstones, so I decided to use a similar palette, at least from color point of view. First, I started with covering all the skin areas with a base color. For this I used flat brown from Vallejo. For the outfit I initially used the pure flat blue, but later decided to mix it with purple at a ratio of about 1:1. Next, the gold. For the gold, I used my own mix, Citadel Retribution armor and a bit of Vallejo gold metal color. The resulting gold color is not as intense as a pure retribution armor, and since Vallejo metal color is quite fluid, it dilutes the rather thick retribution armor, making the paint consistency more convenient. For the skin I used a wet palette and mixed flat brown with elfic flesh, gradually transitioning from darker color to a lighter one, mixing both, increasing the concentration of light elfic flesh and slightly diluting it with water for better blending. Next step is to move on to the details on the clothing and some other elements. For that I used azure color, slightly diluted on wet palette. For some elements I repeated 2 or even 3 times, but just like nothing specific here and there. For the Archimage's gemstones I choose Citadel Mephiston Red. I also decided to experiment a bit with shading, using Citadel Nuln Oil shade. I apply it to various areas and after a few minutes remove the excess with a cotton stick, Q-tip or whatever it is named. Also I added details and painted the silver elements using a mix of just regular silver paint and black ink, both from Vallejo. The final step was preparing the printed base. Since I don't have the original Games Workshop bases, as you saw at the beginning, I printed a square base on a 3D printer. To give it an interesting look, I used spring soil acrylic paste from scale 75. Adding a bit of artificial grass, I considered it finished. Subscribe to the channel, like this video and share your thoughts in the comment, I like to read them. And for now, we are moving to the ground review.